Hi, everybody. If you're 45 or older, talk to your doctor, schedule a colonoscopy. I just came in from taking some cuts. We've got our little pots with potting soil in them. I made sure there was no air pockets in here by not tamping it down, but like filling in any spots. If it was compact, I kind of fluffed it up too. We're gonna be watering it in, but let me grab my cloning gel. We're going to take, I took three of everything, at least three of everything. And because we're taking these clones in flower, there's less of a chance of it actually taking. So we're going to be extra cautious. I haven't used this rooting hormone before, but I've used other ones. So I'm just going to take a quick look and see if the directions are the same. Usually you just dip your cutting in water and, go through the steps, but that's the only step you need to do to use cloning gel. Let me look here. Mosquitoes are nuts these days. Okay. Completely coat. Avoid contact with skin. Boy, they sure aren't small enough. Oh, it's a small container. Yeah, I'm assuming you just do it the normal way, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So that's what we're showing you today. This is our heat mat. I have not taken it out of the box yet. I haven't warmed it up yet. I don't know. It looks like it's variable temperature or something on here. I just need a pretty low temperature. I'm going to keep it constant. And we are going to be using 24 hours of daylight because it's easier, or 24 hours of light because it's easier. And I don't want to mess with the timer around here or nothing. We're using a 100-watt LED. No controls or nothing. And we're going to start out by using a clean pair of snips. We've got our potting soil. Now you can use any kind of medium you want. We're using nightcrawler castings, or not nightcrawler, these are earthworm castings. I'm fresh out of nightcrawler castings. So what I'm going to do is poke our little hole in the center of this thing, because other than the cloning solution or cloning gel, we want the first thing these roots come in contact with is our good microbes. And those good microbes are coming from our worm castings. So we're just poking a hole down the center. We don't want our cloning gel to get knocked off. Now, I suppose it being a gel, I'm more used to powder. I have used gel, but I'm more used to powder. Maybe the gel sticks better to it, and I don't know the difference between any of them anyways. You can use honey. I've used willow tea. I made a willow tea and used that once. Any advantage? I'm taking advantage of every trick that I can. Keep these alive. We want these plants to make it till next year. So we're going to start out with this first package here. And this one would be the Purple Punch Lemon Drizzle. And then I thought I forgot about marking them. So because I don't have any really good marking pens out here, and these are all individually, I can't write on every one, and I don't have any tags, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to make a little map. And since this is a unique shape, it's kind of like a foot or a boot, but just a little boot. It'll be easy to make a grid pattern and keep track of them that way. Although once they're in flower, these plants are completely distinguishable from each other. And then even in veg, by now I could almost pick out every one of them. The blueberry sprinkle, and which other one? The blueberry sprinkle and the cream cheese would be hard to tell apart right now. Shoot. Okay, there's a pen. All right. So we got our boot. There you go. Something like that. Boom. All right, now we're going to go left to right. And start out with this is Purple Punch Lemon Drizzle. We're taking 3 of them. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, the first step, untie them. Then I'm going to inspect them because we are having a bug infestation. And this one here looks like it is full on had the bug infestation and it's dead. So we're going to get rid of that. But, whatever did that to that stem, that brown, I'm assuming is what killed this. Oh, let's see, I just cracked it open. Yep. I don't know what exactly that is. Unless I'm looking at some kind of weird little ecosystem in here. I've never seen this either now. Damn. We got some weird shit going on. So, I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe it will. I don't know if those are eggs down in there. It's kind of clear, slimy. Now, inside the center there, looks like the plant was still trying to, pump liquid up in there. But around the outside, between that inner layer and the outer layer, is that white goo on the top, and then an empty brown space below. And that stem had a ring around it and just snapped off. I don't know. These are weird times. I am going to kill this fucking thing. And I see another damaged spot right here, so that's gonna, same thing's gonna happen to this one, I imagine. Hopefully, I'll be able to take this cut and it'll solve that problem. And we can save this plant. My goodness, what a bunch of shit. Put that in a plastic bag and destroy it. People are finding this stuff everywhere, you guys. So if you're watching this, everywhere in Minnesota at least, if you're watching this, check your plants for little round dots, bug crap in crotches of branches, between buds and stems, brown patches in your buds, your flowers. Brown patches in the tips of your flowers. Okay, man, before we do that, we're gonna lighten up our spirits a little bit here. Bongs up, ladies and gentlemen. Ogo, if you're watching this, bongs up. I haven't forgot about you. Everybody else, all my friends in low places, all my friends in high places. 2 or 3 clicks on this thing usually goes off. Let's go. All right. That was some White Widow. All right, so what we're going to be doing here, we're only going to be keeping the top, say, 4 inches of this plant. Okay? We're going to first cut the leaves like this. So, them big fan leaves and the top leaves are all come together. So it just looks like that, like a little Bart Simpson on top, right? Cut them off. Okay? That's what you want them to look like, because when they're sitting down like this, and we're going to take off these fan leaves on the side. Okay, boom, cut those fan leaves off. Then we're going to take this bottom bud off. That bud site, boom. Okay, we still haven't cut the stem because it's still got water in it, and it's keeping from us having an embolism. All right, then we can use our snips here. You're going to find where you want to put your cut. Usually 4 or 5 nodes, okay? I'm doing 4, 3 or 4. Probably, well, so 1, 2, 3. The fourth one's the one we cut off. I'm going to go below the fourth one is where we're going to make our cut. So the area above the fourth one for about an inch, including this node space, we're going to scrape up the outer Cambrian layer of the stem. All right, that's the outer green spot. The outer green part, we want to scuff it up pretty good. Okay, now at a 45-degree angle at the bottom of those scuff marks, you take and cut it. Yep, and I don't have any water handy. Shoot. Well, we can make another small cut. Give me a second. First of all, I'm going to wet this tip of this. Oh, here we go. Introduce you guys to my grandmother's bread bowl. I don't make bread, but I cut up a lot of vegetables from the garden, and that is what I use. So we're going to put some water in Grandma's bread bowl. That thing's got to be 100 years old. And then we dip our tip in there. I'm going to put this down for a second. So what I did forget, I'm just going to put this right in the water. There we go. Nice and safe there. I'm going to take our worm castings and sprinkle a little bit down in each of those holes. Now, if I had it handy, which I don't, I would have some, it's actually at my grow, but I would have some Super Thrive. It is a plant hormone. Basically, it's kelp hormone. Kelp's fastest growing plant in the earth, and or fastest growing water plant. I don't know if it's the fastest growing plant, but I think it is though. And the hormones from that help our plant. So, anyways, I'm just sprinkling I'm taking 1 pinch and splitting it between like 3 of those little squares. Just so our brand new cutting with its gel on it will be sitting in friendly microbes, which is what we want. So the cap is coming off the gel. Oh yeah, she's full. And she wants to spill out. So that's going to be our first one right here. Our stem is coated. I'm actually going to put that in the hand that has the glove on it. All right. And then down in the center of the pot. All right, now I'm going to cut that bottom flower off of there. It's just going to be in the way. Oh, shoot. Well, I made another cut anyways. All right. So, you know what? We got enough for another one. All right. Basically, we're doing the same thing. Take off all these bottom ones. So, what's going to happen here, we want them pretty short. And what's going to happen is the new branches are going to come out of the tips of this bud. So we really don't want a whole lot of plants sticking up out of these little pots. because the stem, we don't want a real long stem on these because the branches aren't going to come for a while. And they're going to be tall and skinny and spindly. It's just a way of keeping this plant alive through the winter. All right, so we're going to go with two or three nodes at the top, cut off the next one, go to the fourth or fifth one, scrape it up. I'm going to cut below it here. Scrape it up right where we're going to make our cut. Make our cut at a 45-degree angle. And this is what else I forgot too. Make our cut. You can take that arrow. I'm going to dip it in a little water here. You can take that little pointy arrow thing and split that too, which is what I'm going to do, because these are brand new snips. All right, now you got a whole lot of surface area. Dip that in the water again, and then smear on the colonial. Oh, this one, because we didn't snip the leaves here, we're going to snip the leaves. Boom, they're completely flattened off now. Take your hands off. All right. Water. And then gel. Get her all over there. All right, and then stick her in the hole here. And then you want to pack it in good. And then once it's seated in there, you really don't want to spin around. So make sure it's in where you want it, facing away from any other plants. Pack it down good. I'm going to be putting some more dirt on top of these things in just a minute. But basically that's it. We're going to run through it one or two more times. And then we're going to call it. So let's find a good one here for the center. Our centerpiece is going to be a nice big, not big one, but a nice healthy one. Hopefully I don't see any bug penetration, bug damage, yada yada. Want them all to be about the same height, but I'm going to make some working space here. I'm going to cut off the bottom couple of buds that are coming off, nodes. Take that one off here. Not seeing any damage. Okay, so we got a couple of nodes at the top. We're going to go here to this node, scrape it up a little bit. I'm going to cut the bottom off, scrape up this node. Okay, so you can see it scraped up there. Right below the node, 45. Take and cut the end of that 45 right at the tip. Dip it in the water so we don't get an embolism. I'm going to dump out a little bit of this gel onto this tab here. Okay, well, get it all over myself too. Come on off of there. There we go. Alright, this is what this stuff looks like at least. I don't know if this is easier to work with or powder, but alright, we're going to dip it in the water again. And then roll it around in our gel. Get all of that scratched up area. Alright, now at the end is safe. I guess we can do this here. Take our leaves, put them together, cut them off. That's what she looks like. She's about 5 or 6 inches long. And set her down in the center. Face her away from everybody and pack it down. Alright. So one of the reasons, or a couple reasons why we're cutting those leaves, one is less surface area. This plant has a limited amount of water in it. Until it gets roots on it, the only water it's gonna have to live on is the water that's in it and the water we're gonna be spraying it with. Now, old habits die hard. I have a solution of a little bit of Miracle-Gro and water in a spray bottle, similar to this one. that I do spray these plants with while I'm cloning them. It's just the only real, decent way I know of feeding the plants while they're going through such a change. And these ones especially, oops, I just got my fingers in our cloning gel. These especially because they're going through flower, they're going to be re-vegging. So that means they're going to be going from flower to back into vegetation state. Always try and remember, dip your stems as often as you can while you're working on these things, while you're making your decisions. All right, we're going 5 or 6 inches from there, boom, and that's right to the bottom. The top of my scraping is going right to the bottom of the node that we're working around. All right, cut it at a 45, dip it in water, and dip it in our cloning gel, and then take our leaves. I hope these things are successful, and then I hope by next year we figure out a good way to handle these budworms. I have not ever had to use a pesticide, organic or not, so I don't know anything about them really. I have seen things on YouTube. I think there are a couple of things that are organic. I'm not going to mention any names right now. They're very popular, but I don't know. Some of them you can only get in Canada. Some of them you can only get here. I'm not going to endorse any products really. I mean, if I endorse these guys and then I screw some shit up, it doesn't look good for them. So I'm not down with that, man. Especially with bugs and stuff, we might end up throwing these sons of bitches away. Anyways, appreciate everybody for checking this out. This is going to be what do they call it? A season or whatever of episodes on making clones. So I'm going to release this one, and then probably a week down the road, I would say, we'll check back in at the end of this video, or here, we'll just do this right now. So once they're in their little pots, okay, I'm going to be putting these in a 5-gallon pail with the lid on it, over top of a heat mat. Over the top of the plants and the bucket is going to be a 100-watt LED. And then right now, and then when I put it in the bucket, because now this is how this plant is getting water. And you want them to have water, but since they're in bud, you really have to be careful. So right now, because they're just fresh cut, and it wasn't moist and everything, I mean, if they were soaking wet from being outside, I wouldn't worry about it. But they're pretty dry. It's pretty dry in here. My voice is starting to crack because of the dryness. And it's not super dry, but that's the way we're going to do it. I'm going to put it in that bucket. It's going to be in the bucket for, I don't know, 6-8 hours, and then it's coming out under the light, so it gets some air for 6 or 8 hours, and it's going back in, back and forth for a couple of days. It's going to get intensive watched. When it starts to droop, it's going to get foliar sprayed. As soon as I start to see any kind of